Hello there everyone, the Jedi Brick here. Today I'm taking a look at LEGO Star Wars set 75401 Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. This set has 209 pieces, 3 minifigures, and retails for $45 here in the United States and came out on January 1st of 2025. The box art for this set isn't really a whole lot to look at. It has the Clone Wars style box art here with the Clone Trooper in the bottom left corner. We have the shuttle right there with some kind of battle going on in the background, just some empty space behind it, and not really a whole lot to talk about with the front of the box here, but on the back you do have a bit better looking display. We have Ahsoka and Anakin jumping into battle right there. We have R7 down there as well. We have them on a planet where there's obviously some sort of battle taking place. I'm not too sure which episode this set is based off of, but I think it's either season 3 or 4 of the Clone Wars show. If you know, leave a comment. I'm really not too sure. But we have some of the play features and everything else down here as well with the spring-loaded shooters and how you can attach Ahsoka's lightsabers. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the minifigures. The first figure we have here is Ahsoka Tano, and I think this is a great looking Star Wars minifigure. I think it is very important in a set with this price point that we do get something new and potentially exclusive for the amount that you're paying, and I think this is a great minifigure for a set like this. She features a brand new torso and leg print, as well as a new head print and a new Leku print as well. So everything you see here is currently exclusive to this set and this minifigure, which I think is great. I have a feeling it might stay that way for a long time. I don't see any other um, opportunities, at least for the torso and the legs, for that to come in any set in the next year or so. So this might be permanently exclusive to this set, but again, I'm not too sure. The printing on her torso and legs is just incredible. You can see all that great detail that goes down to the legs. And speaking of those legs, these are the, I believe they're called the midi legs. They're not the short legs, they're not the normal full length legs. They are the ones in the middle that can bend. And I think that is a great part use for this minifigure. You get some great detail on where I guess her knees would be, and you have like the belt printing that goes down as well. I think this figure looks fantastic. I really like the printing and everything they did for her. Of course, she comes with her two lightsabers there in the green. I wish they would have given us at least one that's lighter. In the show, she has a shorter one that's a lighter shade of green, almost like a yellow. I wasn't really expecting them to do that for this set, but I think that would have been a great inclusion just to make it a bit more accurate. But taking off the Leku there, you can see her other face, a more angry one. You could also see a bit of her back with her shoulders and stuff exposed. You have a little brown pouch there on the back of the print as well. Flipping this around, I'll flip the head around so you can see that alternate face, and that does look really good with the Leku on there. You do get some really nice printing of her Padawan braids, so I think that is very cool. I'm surprised we haven't used this face print before. I thought this would be a reuse of the other Ahsoka's face prints, but this is new to the set, I believe, as well, so I think that is very cool. The next figure we have here is Anakin Skywalker, and I think this is a great version of Anakin. I think they did a great job with the torso and the legs, and the face print looks great as well. We'll talk about the face print first. You have this really nice stern looking face. You have the scar, of course, across his eye. I think they just did a great job with this. If I flip him around, you can see the alternate head, which is a more angry look without going into the whole Sith eye thing. So I think that is great for, Revenge of the Sith mocks and everything before he goes fully to the dark side. I think that is a great face print to use. And again, this is a brand new minifigure that we haven't seen before. Everything on this minifigure is currently exclusive to this version of Anakin, but I do have a feeling we'll see this version again, maybe in another Clone Wars set, maybe in a Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary set or something. I'm not really sure, but I think that would be cool to see this minifigure again. I love the torso print, I love the leg print. I like that it's primarily printed on this dark brown with the black tunic going over. I think they did a great job with this minifigure. You can see all that really nice detail on the belt as well with the little pouch, the clip, and the clip for the lightsaber right there. This is just a great minifigure all around. You can see the back of the printing there as well. If I flip the head around, you can see that more angry, ready for combat face. I think this minifigure is just great. Now let's move on to the last one. The last minifigure, if you want to call it that, is R7A7, and I think this is the most disappointing one out of all of the figures in this set. this is a $45 set. So I want you guys to keep that in mind while I'm reviewing this. If you guys really think this is worth $45, the last two minifigures were great. They're both brand new for the set. All use, new prints and everything for their torsos, their heads, their legs, whatever. I think they are great, and that makes this set all the more worth it. But when it comes to this version of R7, I was pretty disappointed. In the past, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years with Star Wars droids, we've been getting back printing on them, and I think that is a great upgrade for droids. We haven't really seen much improvement in the last, 10 years or so. So I was excited to get this one and see what they did for the back printing of R7. Well, if I flip this around, you're going to see there is no back printing on this one, which I think is a huge, huge mistake by LEGO. You're paying $45 for the set. You should get some back printing on the droid. I thought this was kind of the way LEGO was going with these. The droids, we got it on Chopper, we got it on R2. I just kind of assumed that's the direction we were going in. But clearly, I was wrong. There's no back printing on this one. My only theory is because we're only going to get this figure in this one set, and we're probably never going to see it again unless we get another Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor, so they just didn't want to waste the extra money. That's my only theory on why they wouldn't do it. With R2 and Chopper, we see them in different sets, so I think that's the reason, but still, $45, I feel like you should get something a little more. We got the printed R2 in a $30 set. I think that's the cheapest version that's come in. So, I don't think it really would have cost them anything extra really to give us a decent back printing, especially for a $45 set. But all that out of the way, the printing on the front is really nice. I like the lime green hints on the torso and on the dome as well. The printing on the dome is really nice. I like the printing on there. They did a great job with that. But that's really my only complaint is no back printing on the droid. I really think they should have done that. I thought that was going to be the new standard going forward. I feel like it's kind of like not giving a minifigure an alternate face now. Like it's kind of weird when that doesn't happen. So with those minifigures out of the way, let's talk about Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. So we've gotten a lot of Interceptors over the years. I think since 2005 is when we got our first one. So it's been about 20 years since we got our first Jedi Interceptor, and a lot of improvements have been made since then. The past maybe 5, 6 years, we've been seeing the same kind of formula for the builds of these, the same kind of builds. Everything is the same except for the color of the ship overall. But this is the first time we've seen a Jedi Interceptor with a completely different build, different type of construction, different cockpit. This feels very fresh and unique, and I honestly love that. It's been a long time since we've gotten something different from the same Interceptor formula, so I think this is a welcome upgrade. A lot of people don't agree on mostly specific parts we'll talk about later on, but I think this is a great change for the Interceptors. I think it's great that we're getting something new after over 20 years of LEGO Star Wars in terms of the overall look of a ship. So we'll start with the cockpit, which is the part that not a whole lot of people like. It uses this brand new piece here. This is a completely different piece than the last ones we've been getting for the cockpits of these ships, and I think this is a lot better than the ones that we've gotten in the past. I think it has a better shape to it. I think it fits in better. I think it looks more realistic to what we see in the movies and in the shows. I just like the overall shape of it, and I think this is a welcomed change. Thankfully, this is not a sticker. This is completely printed, which, thank goodness, I would not want to put this on there. That would have been terrible. But the print on there does look very good. The dark red stands out very well. The white shines very well as well. Yeah, it's a very welcomed change. You do have the same type of the front cockpit piece that we've been getting on Starfighters for a long time. I don't think that's really an issue. I think that works very well. I think it's not really anything that needs to change. And that just kind of pops on to, let's see, we got 8 studs, I believe, there. That just kind of sticks on there. It's not really supposed to come off on its, like, to be taken off for play, but you are able to pop it off without too much of an issue, and it's very secure on there as well, so you're not going to have to worry about that falling off independently. And the main issue people have with this is this section right here, these two giant, like, half, 1/4 of a circle, I suppose, pieces right here. People think it's too bulky or it stands out a bit too much, and I can kind of see where that's coming from. I think this piece on the top doesn't do it really any favors. I think if you take that off, It definitely looks a bit better, it doesn't stick up as much, but I really don't have much of an issue with it. I think it looks pretty good. I think it adds a bit of a curve to it, which it definitely needs. So personally, I don't see an issue with it. And the whole way this cockpit opens up, you guys have probably seen this before, just opens up like that. It has a bracket piece right there, opens up nice and smooth. It doesn't actually connect to any studs when the cockpit is closed, which I think is interesting. I think every other cockpit piece has had some studs to grab onto, but this one kind of just goes in between these studs. Oh, piece just broke off, but it just kind of goes in between those studs right there, closes like that, and it's pretty sturdy. It's not gonna really open that far, but it's not super secure in there. I kind of wish they would have given you some studs to latch onto, but that's something that can be modded on my own time. And taking a look at the inside of the cockpit there, you have one simple control panel thing, which is a sticker. Unfortunately, why they don't use one of the hundreds of slope pieces with printing on them, I don't know. They made us put a sticker on there, but Ahsoka can fit in there nicely thanks to her legs that can bend. She fits in there nice and snug. You can close the cockpit all the way down without worrying about her head tails um, causing it not to close all the way, which I think is great. Definitely important for a set that has a minifigure like that. So moving on to the rest of the ship, here at the back of the cockpit you have these two engines. Nothing super fancy there, just attached by some Technic pins, just some regular blue thrusters, so nothing really to write home about, but the wings are kind of the same as we've seen on other starfighters as well. They use the same giant fin piece with the stickers on either side, so you have stickers on the outside and then stickers on the inside for extra detail, which I don't really have an issue with. I think this is the best way to do it with interceptors. I think it translates very well, so you can fold those out as far as you want. You could go all the way out like that, even though it's not technically accurate. You have the option to do that with the posability, which for a playset like this I do think is important over accuracy, giving kids the ability to reenact whatever they want with a toy like this. So that is very cool. One different thing about the construction of this model in like opposed to past ones is the way the wings are constructed. These ones are all kind of put together with Technic, so you can see the pins and the beams right there. And with previous ones, they were using hinges, so you could kind of move the wings a little bit. Like you could bend them, you could make them straighter. So that's something that's different. I actually think I prefer the way those were built. I think it just gave another option of play for kids. You could have it like the wings straightened out, or you could have them bent. I think that was kind of cool. That was a play feature I really liked when I was younger with some of the older interceptors. But now that's gone. I think this is definitely sturdier. You know, you can bend it and everything. It's not going to fall apart. So I think that was really the main drive behind changing that, having it more structurally sound for kids when they play with it. Now onto the detail of the wings. I think the overall color scheme of this ship is really nice. I like the dark red with the white and the dark gray accents. I think that's a great overall design, but that wasn't really Lego's doing. That was Lucasfilm Clone Wars that designed the ship. But still, I like the color design and everything. I think they did a great job translating that. I like some of the slopes and everything to give it a bit more detail and seem a bit more polished off. I think they did a great job with that. I really like these pieces they are using on the Interceptor. If I can get that out, it's like this cool fin type thing. I don't even really know how to describe it, but that it's a really cool piece. It just gives it a bit more shape and bulkiness around the cockpit. You do have to put those stickers on there, unfortunately, but I do think they look really nice when they're on there. So that is a really cool new part for the Interceptor, a welcome change in my opinion. You do, of course, have the little droid slot right there. Nothing really new about that. You can fit R7 in there, nice and snug. You can move the head to look forward. So I think that is very cool, a very important feature for a set like this that can house an astromech droid. It's very important that they can actually fit in. So I think that is very cool. Of course, you have the primary blasters here, the cannons at the front. Those are just clipped on there with some clips right there. Can put that right back on there. And if I move to the underside, you have these big bulky components, which I'm really not a fan of. You need them so the droid can fit on one side, but you can kind of remove them if you wanted to. You could maybe, fill in that spot and just have it so the dome is only visible, kind of like on the original Interceptors, which I might do. I'm really not a huge fan of how big this is, so that might be something I do at some point. But I'm just not a huge fan of how bulky the underside is. But you do have these clips on either side of these giant components here, and those, of course, are for Ahsoka's lightsabers. You get two for each lightsaber, so I think that is really cool. Definitely important for a playset like this. You can have the lightsabers attached so they won't get lost. And finally, we have these spring-loaded shooters right here. Of course, they are the green to match the firing of the cannons. You guys know how these work. You push down, fire. I'm gonna try to hit the box. One, two. Both of them hit, so that was really cool. Always welcome to have those on a set, and I think they do a good job implementing them here, where they don't really stand out that much. If you look at it from the back, you're definitely gonna see, you know, the green right there, but I don't think they're super obvious looking at this head on or kind of like from the top angle. So I think that is a job well done to Lego, even though that's kind of something we've seen on a lot of the Interceptors. Now for the question everyone has been waiting for: is this worth it? $45 for a Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. I want to point out that I think 2 years ago we got the Obi-Wan Starfighter with Obi-Wan Kenobi, R4, and the Kaminoan. I forget whatever their name was. Tanwi, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You guys know who I'm talking about. But that set was $30 when that came out, and that was a pretty good deal looking back on it. I think I remember people hating on it, saying that was overpriced, but man, if only they knew we'd be getting pretty much the same thing with different characters like 2 years later for $45. I do not think this set is worth $45. I would say this is a solid $30 set. Putting into perspective what we got with that Obi-Wan set a few years ago, $30 is I would say is a good price for something like this. I paid $40 for it. It was on sale at a Target, so I got it there. You might be able to find this one on sale in the next month or so as it gets older, but I would not recommend buying this one for full price. I think if you hold off a little bit, I can guarantee you guys this one will be on sale by Christmas of this year. I guarantee you will not find this set for full price, at least at like Target and Walmart. Lego's gonna sell this one full price till it's gone. But I think if you guys are patient enough, you will find this set for a good price. I guarantee you guys that. But of course, that is just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments down below. Do you have it? Are you planning on buying it? Do you think it's worth the price? I want to hear all of your guys' opinions in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna try to make more videos, you guys. I promise. I am just swamped with schoolwork right now. I think I've mentioned it before. I changed majors. Becoming a doctor, it's a lot harder than what I was doing before. So it's definitely hard to kind of balance all this stuff out with doing YouTube, which I love doing this. But yeah, so expect another video relatively soon. I'm not sure when that will be, but there will be something else coming out soon. I promise you guys. But with all that said, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.